My mother-in-law whispered at my wedding, "He'll leave you like he left the others." There were no others. I was standing in the receiving line greeting guests when she leaned close and hissed those words directly into my ear. Her smile never wavered. To everyone watching, she looked like a proud mother embracing her new daughter, but her grip on my arm was too tight and her breath was hot against my neck. The others all thought they were special too. You'll learn. Then she released me and moved on to the next guest like nothing had happened. I stood there completely frozen, trying to process what she'd just said. Others? What others? I'd known my husband for 4 years before we got married. He'd had 2 serious girlfriends before me, and both relationships ended normally. One moved away for graduate school. The other realized she didn't want children and they weren't compatible. There were no mysterious disappearances, no dark secrets, no others. I told myself his mother was just being cruel because she'd never liked me. She'd made that clear from our first meeting when she'd looked me up and down and asked if I was sure I could keep up with her son's lifestyle. She'd criticized my job, my apartment, my cooking, my family. Nothing I did was ever good enough. The wedding continued and I pushed her words aside. This was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, but that night in our hotel room I couldn't sleep. I finally asked my husband about it. "Your mother said something strange to me. She mentioned others, like there were women before me who you left." He went completely still beside me. "What exactly did she say?" "That you'd leave me like you left the others, that they all thought they were special." He sat up and turned on the lamp. His face was pale in the sudden light. "I need to tell you something about my mother. Something I should have told you before." My heart started pounding. He explained that his mother had a very specific type of cruelty. When his first serious girlfriend came to dinner, his mother whispered that he'd gotten someone pregnant in high school and abandoned her. It wasn't true. When his second girlfriend met the family, his mother claimed he'd been engaged before and left his fiancée at the altar. Also completely false. She fabricated stories designed to destroy his relationships. It had worked twice before. Both girlfriends confronted him about the lies his mother told them. Both refused to believe his denials. Both left within weeks of meeting her. "She wants me alone," he said quietly. "She can't stand the idea of any woman being more important to her than she is, so she poisons everything." I stared at him in the dim light. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" "Because I thought maybe this time would be different. You're stronger than the others were. I hoped you'd see through her." I thought about his mother's smile, the way she'd gripped my arm, the absolute confidence in her voice when she delivered her poison. She'd done this before and it had worked. She expected it to work again. Something hard and cold settled in my chest. What exactly happened with the other girlfriends? She told them I was violent, that I'd hurt women before, that the police had been involved. All of it made up from nothing. And they believed her without asking you? She's very convincing, and she times it perfectly. Right when things are getting serious. Right when doubt can do the most damage. I understood then what I was dealing with. A woman who would rather destroy her son's happiness than share him with anyone else. A woman who had perfected her technique over years of practice. A woman who assumed I would crumble just like the others. I decided in that moment that I would not give her the satisfaction. The next morning I called my mother-in-law and asked her to lunch. Just the two of us. She agreed, sounding almost smug. At the restaurant I let her order first, then looked her directly in the eyes. "I know what you're doing. I know you've lied about your son to every woman he's ever loved. I know you're trying to destroy my marriage before it even starts." Her face froze completely. "I won't be asking my husband about the others because there were no others. There was only you spreading poison and hoping it would work." I leaned forward. "It won't work on me. And if you ever try to manipulate me or my husband again, I will make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of mother you really are." She didn't speak to me for 8 months after that conversation. When she finally reached out, it was with an apology. Apparently my husband had confronted her too and threatened to cut contact entirely unless she changed. We've been married 6 years now. She still doesn't like me much. But she's never whispered another lie in my ear. Sometimes holding your ground is the only way to survive.